It's rich shit, reinvest it and then risk it. The cookie that I got ain't Oreo biscuits. I wanna double up from racks to riches, racks to millions. If it wasn't me, it was Iz that did it. I can't trust man that move and fidget. Time get harder, the ones that switching. It's either.
Yo, what's good, my people? Welcome back to my channel. Here today, I thought let me start off with a bang. Let's get a nice interview in. Let's get some good content in, discuss some financial topics. I'm here with Ion Noble. How you doing, my bro?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
I'm good. This is my finance protection insurance provider. Is that what you
Yeah.
So essentially that, he's helped me when it comes to life insurance, which we'll get onto. But again, guys, I'm sorry for the delay of the videos. I know I've been inactive, but I'm back. I just had to sort a few things, but now I've got some good content coming. It'll be great. So how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you taking the time to meet today.
Yeah.
It should be a good one.
Yeah.
Essentially, there's so much that we could cover. Want to talk about a couple topics and that pertains to finance, especially for the people that keep saying that money's not everything.
Yeah.
I want to address those people, and then, of course, it'll be great to talk about how, like you said, life insurance and all other forms of insurance are quite important, and young people should simply take heed and get it done.
Well, what type of insurance do you deal with?
Oh, so yeah, I didn't even introduce myself. So guys, I'm Ion Noble. I'm a financial protection advisor.
Yeah.
I'm FCA regulated, so what that means is that I'm actually legally able to give advice regarding financial protection. And what I do is I simply cover things like life insurance, critical illness cover, income protection, accident cover, mortgage insurance, private medical insurance, landlord insurance, commercial insurance,
not a joke,
and of course whole of life insurance as well.
Wow.
So depending on the individual and what they need, I'm able to help them put that financial protection in place.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's good to have you here today. We're going to talk a lot of topics, but where should we begin?
Well, let's start with how you started, your motivations, what got you into it, and then we'll see where the conversation takes us.
Yeah, no, entrepreneurship in its whole, it's just understanding that, well, for me, where it began, it's simply that when I understood that I can get whatever I want in life, so I was young, I was in school, I wanted a BlackBerry. My parents didn't get me a BlackBerry. So I took things in my own hands, I started selling sweets in school. I was that type of person. So with that being said, when I realized that I can take things in my own hand and make money for myself, that is what I understood and bled entrepreneurship as a whole for me, because I knew that there's a whole range of things I can get. Anything's possible now because I can go my way to make money to get it without having a job. So back then I really wanted a job, but in year 8, by the way, year 8 is like 13 years old. Like, who you gonna get? Who's gonna hire you unless you have family, relatives or whatnot? So yeah, definitely that's where it started. But then my motivation is to keep going, because I think there's a difference. Once you start, it can be fun, but then it's a discipline and a motivation to keep going throughout the rest of your life, and understanding that there's no guaranteed income. Everything I'm getting right now is all based on maybes and me putting in results to then get that money. It's not like, oh, by this date, if I work this many hours, I get paid. No, it's if things come in my lap, if I put myself in positions to get noticed by certain people and brands when they come to me, or if I make certain trades, that's where my money comes from, So with that being said, in terms of the motivation to keep going, it's little things like, family, wanting to retire your parents, making sure your siblings are good. Not only that, you guys, my people that watch me, people that have been watching me since the beginning, because again, I feel like I owe them. I need to show them, yeah, I've made it. Yeah, someone will say, someone will argue, and we can even talk about that, what's the definition of making it, but, some will say, oh yeah, I've made it to a certain level, but I want to show them, yeah, I'm living a good life, and if you follow the tips and tricks that I show in these videos, then you'll definitely be on your way too. So yeah, I think definitely the motivation to keep going is needed.
Yeah. And who taught you that, being an employee just wasn't going to get you to the outcome or destination that you're looking for?
Who taught me? I would say Rich Dad Poor Dad, so Robert Kiyosaki, he taught me, so if you haven't read that book, you need to.
I read that book.
Yeah.
In fact, it was my wife that actually first gave me that book. She actually owned the book and
wow,
then gave it to me.
Wow, that's the key part.
And I read it before her, even though it was her book.
Okay, but still, the fact that she put you on and...
yeah.
That's a key part already, like...
Yeah, that's actually my wife. Well, that's not just the reason why.
But led up to that. That's good. Yeah, and I say that book laid it out for me, but I would say in real life, when I realized that yeah, in real life, when I realized that, that wasn't for me, it was like, I just noticed around me, the people around me, not the people around me, but maybe my uncles, family and whatnot. Yeah, they work great jobs, management accountants and whatnot. And the life we live was actually pretty decent, driving a nice Mercedes, living in nice houses. It's cool, but you see, I grew up with the internet. I like to say YouTube raised me. I wouldn't say I was raised yes, my parents raised me, but in terms of my business mindset, the lessons I know today, YouTube raised me. I was the type of guy, when I was growing up through school, everyone, I say your generation, probably everyone's outside on the streets and whatnot.
Yeah.
I was outside on the streets, but then when I got to secondary school, I was inside on YouTube, watching stuff, consuming information, and I used to see a lot of Americans. Now you see a lot of Americans doing big things like driving Mercedes, not even Mercedes, Lamborghinis, Rolls Royces, and seeing that stuff at a young age. They're not working a job, they're on YouTube. So that's when I realized, okay, maybe this job thing isn't the way, but then Robert Kiyosaki consolidated it and broke it down step by step. Why is not the way? So yeah. But what would you say was a switch for you?
For me, it was just seeing life for where it is, just accepting where it is. When I was in secondary school, I always used to feel like these teachers didn't want to be here. I always used to feel like you wanted to do something else in life, flopped. That's why you're a school teacher.
Okay.
And not all of them, because you could tell the teachers that it's their passion, they love it, they taught differently. You looked forward to going to their classes because they would be as creative as possible. They would think of the students. The teachers that were always upset, every little thing, they just want to exercise power. You can tell even the way they were, you could just tell from their personality. You probably just wanted to be a musician, failed. You had to find something to pay the bills. Here you are,
teaching music
because teaching music or something and so. Just the educational system in itself, personally, I feel like there's only a handful of subjects that are worth learning. If I'm being honest, because me personally, I study economics.
Uni?
Yeah, uni.
Okay, nice.
And I've never used that degree ever.
Wow.
I've never been asked since I've been in the corporate world.
Wow.
For a decade now. I've never once been asked to come and show my certificate.
Really? They just believed you?
Yeah, bro. Listen, I'm sitting there thinking, bro, I could have lied and said I got first class. I could have lied and said I got it wouldn't even make a difference.
Wow.
There's no, whenever they ask, so what grade did you get? You can that's it.
You say it.
Yeah.
No reference check.
No reference. Nothing.
Wow.
So people are out here
that's a
feeling
joke.
bad, suffering. I didn't even put. Bro, it doesn't even matter. Bro.
It doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter.
I guess they taught you what you need to know on the job anyway.
Exactly.
Obviously, your economics degree helped in terms of context, but in terms of specifics, you was taught. So,
listen, the education system, remember, is designed to keep you as a cog in the wheel of the system. It's not designed to make you rich. But a lot of people are going to school thinking that, when I go to school, I'm going to learn how to be rich. You're not.
Oh, of course.
Do you know what I mean? Your business classes are taught by people that have never had a business.
Oh yeah. When you realize that, it's just you're here though telling me that X, Y, nah, it doesn't make sense.
Business owners don't teach in schools. Yeah, they don't do the lectures because they're running a business.
Yeah, there you go. They're busy.
Do you understand? And a lot of the time here, I feel like people haven't assessed life and looked at the results. The people that have what you want to have, assess them. Realize just look into it. So are these people that go to school? Are these people that study this? No, they're not those people. They're people that say, right, what's the problem that people want solved that they'll pay money for? Let me go and learn how to solve that problem.
There you go.
So they look at getting skills and adding value versus, I just went and done a couple exams, wrote a couple essays, and now I feel like I should be rich.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense. And I feel like, again, just raising you to be an employee. That's the bottom line. Now, in terms of school, for me, it was more for most people, what I noticed is that for uni, they use it as a placeholder. So when I say placeholder, I feel like some young people get to a point in their lives, at 18, they don't know what they're doing in life, so they just go uni just to buy more time.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean? So then they're still coasting through uni, they're just still having fun and whatnot. With me, when I was in uni, not only was I doing uni, but uni, I soon delegated it to the side. That was something I do on the weekends. Monday to Friday was me working on myself, building my TikTok page, growing my brand, working on my property business, trading and whatnot. But for me, I left uni with skills. So when I left uni, and I left uni with skills and businesses. So when I left uni, I was literally straight. It was literally another day. I graduated, next day I'm back to doing what I'm doing. There was no awkward conversation with my parents where, oh yeah, I'm looking for a job, I'm chilling at home doing nothing. No, it was just straight back to what I'm doing. And again, that was a grateful thing for me. But a lot of people use it as a placeholder. So when they leave uni, they're kind of stuck. They got okay grading, okay subjects. Like, you know, they're doing weird things like media at uni. Like, just pick up a camera. I know a lot of people that picked up cameras and they're making very good money, you know, being music video directors and whatnot. Whereas you've had to, so yeah, definitely with the education system, again, use it to make your friends, network. But other than that, nah, I wouldn't say. The only thing I could give to it is, I was gonna say it teaches you to be logical, but that's only if you study like maths or economics. That, because obviously the reasoning, that's the only thing.
If you're studying a course that requires deductive reasoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I can say, okay, cool, you know, but other than that,
for me, uni is also a business. But people don't actually open their eyes and see it like that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why it's a business, yeah. Think like, this is not even to offend anyone, I'm just speaking the facts. Like, you know, your outcomes your outcomes tell you the story, innit? So don't even be angry with me. Just be angry with your outcomes.
Yeah.
But the only subjects that are worth studying in uni that actually, you know, you need, I believe, like for your career, because it's like what you learn you're actually going to do. Engineering, law, medicine, accounting and finance.
Even that one is,
but because these are professions. Do you get it?
Yeah.
These are actual professions.
Yeah.
It's like, so what are you? I'm a lawyer, so obviously you have to study.
Yeah.
And what are you? I'm an engineer. Like you there's no way around it. You need to know this to do it.
100%.
Do you get it? Like, I can't even think of another one. But you see, what happens where uni starts becoming a business and scamming people is when they start introducing stuff like biomed, all these half subjects that you're going to uni to study to study talents. That's how I feel when I hear people say, "Oh, I'm going to uni to study music." You're studying a talent. Every musician and artist that you see look up to, like, they didn't go to school to do it. It was just their gift. They utilized it. They didn't sit in a lecture and have someone that's never written music, never done anything, tell them how to write music.
Yeah.
Do you get it? And I feel like that's where people go wrong, because it's like you spend all, like, it's like studying history.
Yeah, nah.
Or like studying geography. Like what are you gonna do with that? Because you see all the time, they'll say that they study geography and they end up in some industry that's got nothing to do with geography whatsoever.
Yeah, nah. It happens.
You
all the
study
time.
geography and end up in recruitment.
Yeah, no. It happens.
It's like, what's the correlation?
It's crazy, and that's why I was saying with the accounting finance section, even though I studied that, there's many like apprenticeships. If you really want to go down that route, I'd go straight apprenticeship. If anyone's watching, apprenticeship is way more valuable. At least you get work-life skills. And when you think about it, from the age of 18 to 21, the person that starts in an apprenticeship versus the person that went uni
is 3 years ahead in experience.
3 years ahead in experience. You're already ahead of your. So in terms of like getting jobs and whatnot, you're competitive. You got a competitive advantage. So again, from that point, but yeah, uni. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say in today's day and age. And actually, I want to ask though. So, well, for me personally, even for my children, depending on what they want to do, I don't think I'll be the type of parent to be pushing them to like, oh yeah, you must go uni, because in my household there was like uni was the default option. It wasn't like a maybe. No, it was the default. Unless you blow in whatever you're doing or whatever business in, yeah, it's the default. But I feel like as time's changing and I'm seeing the landscape change, I definitely feel like I'll be a little bit more lenient on that side. Well, how do you see that side?
100%. Listen, at the end of the day, everyone wants to be financially free, right? Everybody wants to grow up and be financially free and be able to live life on their own terms.
Yeah.
Me sending my child to uni,
yeah.
I would only say go to uni if you're going to learn, if it's needed to acquire the skill that you need to be effective in the space that you want to be in.
100%.
For example, if my child says, do you want to be a lawyer? By all means, you have to go to uni for that. Like, there's no way around it. But if my child's saying, you know, he wants to be a footballer or something or whatever, like, how's uni gonna help with that? It's not. Yeah, but what I definitely will do is make sure that my child learns a valuable skill in the market of that day.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So, where, like, learn a skill, learn a trade, like something that solves a problem that people need.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. It's not just about just going to waste 3 years in uni. Why? You're better off being a bricklayer make 250 a day. Like, you know what I mean? Which is mad. Imagine a bricklayer's making 250 a day. You multiply that by, say, 20 days in a month. The person's clearing five grand. That's 60 grand a year. Just like that.
And you know what's crazy? I don't know if it was the same for you, but when I was in school, I feel like bricklayers and all these trades, plumbers,
they don't want us to succeed.
It was looked down upon. Like it was a cuss to say, oh yeah, you're gonna be a plumber one day. That was legit a cuss. Like you said to someone, they'll feel violated. So I found it kind of crazy where when I came out of uni, I announced a business more. I'm thinking, wait a minute, they have a skill. Okay, yes, they're using their own labor, so that's a downside. You're spending all day, but then eventually they'll know the game inside out, the business inside out, where they can start hiring other people
and replace themselves.
Replace themselves eventually and start their own businesses. So, and when you look into property and whatnot, you clock, wait a minute, these people actually need it. Like this is actually a proper skill. So yeah, tradesmen. It's crazy that I was looked down in uni, but yeah, no, that was an interesting.
I'll tell you why. It's actually deliberate. And it's gonna sound like a conspiracy theory or something, but it's deliberate. It's very, very deliberate. Because think of it this way. You've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad. For those that haven't, please read it because it will make what I'm about to say make sense.
Please, I beg.
See it this way. The system will never teach you to go and want to be a business owner.
Oh, never.
Reason why, they want you to be an employee because an employee pays the most in taxes.
There you go.
Now, if we're teaching, so now you got to think of it as on the business side as a government. If you're a government, you know that your income comes strongly from taxes. So you're incentivized to have more people paying taxes, right?
Yeah.
The highest tax bracket is someone that's an employee. The lowest tax bracket is someone that's an investor. After that is someone that's a business owner.
There you go.
So as people know now, tax, corporation tax for businesses is between 19 and 25% at this moment in time. Think about that. Just deep that for a second. 25% is and bear in mind, you're paying tax on money that's left.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. Like it's not even revenue. It's after all your shenanigans and
tax on profits.
Yeah, profits.
And and there's a lot of things that are tax deductible, which means that it's deducted from from your so-called profit.
This is tax deductible.
Do you get it? So, this is tax deductible. This is tax deductible. Oh, like do you know what I mean? Like, I bought a drink or whatever.
Yeah.
So now let's take two people. Both make the same 100 grand. One's a business owner, one's an employee. As an employee, when you make 100 grand, first of all your tax and it's gone
before you even come to your you don't even get to you look at the paper and you think, oh yeah, it's already been deducted.
It's gone.
It's been done.
It's gone.
And then after that, when it comes to a business owner, you can manipulate, you can act. You can, you can pay yourself. You can.
It's not even manipulation. It's as simple as knowing the rules of the game and playing it well. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people to do. Learn the rules of the game that you're playing and then play it well. Because the rules have been there. You didn't make it up. They've put it there. It's now left for you to make the most of those rules.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a great thing that Rich Dad Poor Dad told me, because before I knew that there was definitely a difference between those that are employees and the business owners and those that have their own hustles and whatnot. But I feel like Rich Dad Poor Dad, it elaborated and showed the game plan. Like, oh, okay, that's the game they're playing. Okay, let me get onto that. And when you mentioned the taxes, again, capital gains tax, that's around, I think that's 13.5%. So again, investors are very, very, the government want to help investors. They want them to be doing their thing. And then also give all these tax incentives, so stocks and shares ISAs, all of these tax incentive breaks where you can invest 20k tax free, and then 19 to 25% is the corporation tax, and then boom, the higher tax rate bracket for employees. What's that? 45%. Crazy.
So, because when you look at it, as I was saying, 100 grand for an employee. I've got the tax calculator now. Imagine 100 grand. That's £8,333 a month before tax, right?
Before
their take home, without including the pension deduction and student loan that they have to pay back if they went to uni, their take home before those happen is 5,587.
It's crazy.
So and it's someone that's making 100 grand, they're probably gonna take a good £500 for your pension, just to put that aside.
Oh yeah.
So you're down to $5 grand. Yeah. Student finance have seen that you're doing well, so we need to get our money as well. So you could be making 100 grand and then going home with 4.5.
Yeah, it's
easily
nuts. It's nuts.
But the business owner, he's making 100 grand in revenue. He's gonna deduct all his expenses, so where he lives, his internet, phone, the
Yeah.
car he drives, every single lunch that he buys, like things that he was gonna do anyway.
A date as well. Oh,
Date night.
He'll work it in somehow.
Holiday.
Oh, yeah.
All of that is gonna be gone. It's gonna be deducted. So now, all of a sudden, that 100 grand, even though he's spending the money, enjoying the money, all of that, he's probably gonna pay himself and say his salary is 12 and a half.
Yeah.
So that it's under the threshold for tax again.
There you go.
So now what have we got now? 12 and a half, so about what? 87 and a half?
Yeah.
Then he's gonna do all the expenses for the year.
Yeah.
And then he's probably gonna say, do you know what? I've brought it down as low as I can. I'm gonna say that I made 20k in profit. Don't worry. I'll say I made 20k in profit.
We'll pay that.
And then bang, he's decided that he's gonna pay 25% of 20 grand.
There you go. And there's even the dividends as well. So the dividend rate, I believe, since he's on the basic rate for 12 and a half, the basic rate for dividends is 8. I believe it's 8.5%. So again, even dividends, profits he's withdrawing from the business after corporation tax has been paid, you've just 10k, he's paying £800 in tax, I believe. So yeah, that's again, there's levels.
You see?
And once you know how to play the game, you're panned.
Exactly. And from what you mentioned about the government and the incentives, it's like anything and anyone in the world. Like you got to see the government as like, you got to think, if I was the government, what would I do? And like you'd start to be able to understand how they think, because it's as simple as this. When we say these incentives and benefits, how I see it is this: the fact that you're doing the government's job, they're going to reward you. What do I mean by that? Everyone always complains, the government should do this, the government should do that, the government should do this, the government should build more homes because there's not enough homes. Guess who's building homes? Property developers.
There you go.
So now, because the government's supposed to be building homes and they're not, this guy comes along and says to the government, "Hey government, don't worry about it. Let me do it. I'll do it. Don't worry. No money out of your pocket."
Yeah.
But all I'm asking, I'm not even being unreasonable, government. I'm just asking, that little tax here, just make it go away from me. Who's gonna say no to that?
Yeah, man.
My man's putting in 300 million of his own money, which could be the 300 million of the government's money. So you just say 300 million, and he's asking for you to wash away 30 mil.
Yeah.
Who's gonna say no? And that's what it is. That is exactly what it is. It's the same with businesses. Why do business owners get all these benefits? Because they're creating more taxpayers.
There you go.
They're creating more employees. So the government's thinking, okay, we could try to tax this person, but why? When we can get 1,000 more people that we can tax at a higher rate anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
it's easier anyway. It's easier anyway. They got a whole system, PAYE.
Do you get it?
Boom.
Do you get it? No one's gonna outsmart them because it's embedded.
It's embedded.
So you know what?
Like,
we will let you go for the 1,000, 100%.
Yeah.
What, we should let this one man go, or we're gonna let this one man go in exchange for 1,000 people. We're not dumb.
Yeah, no.
It's one man. It doesn't matter how much he has. It's one man.
100%.
So when people start to realize that, they'll start to realize, hold on, I need to move across this quadrant. I need to move from that employee section
all the
way into business owner section. And it's not difficult. All it is a little bit of reading, set up a business, and then package yourself as a business would. Because at the end of the day, you can even still be, for example, the resource or the value in that business. But now you're going to benefit from some, tax-wise.
Yeah, 100%. And when it comes to like moving over across to that section, again, we all have to start somewhere. Like everyone's worked a job. I can proudly say I've never worked an office job. Now, I won't lie, I do sometimes think, okay, cool, if I did work an office job, I would have more insider knowledge in the industry in terms of like how the corporate scene works. But life went a different way. The only jobs I worked were like warehouse, Tesco delivery, minor jobs at 16. So but in terms of, again, everyone has to go through that pain.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like you have to be an employee to understand, okay, this ain't it. Let me, switch that side. So, and then, like you said, it's not hard in terms of switching. You can start a side hustle, you got research, and then while you're doing your 9 to 5, your 6 to 9, that's when you're building your empire. You're not playing PlayStation, you're not watching Netflix. You got to go back and grind even more for your dream. Because your 9 to 5, you're working for your boss's dream. You're making sure he can get his next Lamborghini. Do you get what I'm saying? Car washes. Actually, these car washes, these owners, they have nice cars, like very nice cars, like big engine, loud cars, and these Romanians are working for £10 an hour and whatnot. They're just making use of their labor, and so yeah. Again, I feel like making that switch is got to be done. Regardless.
Yeah, and to make it clear, like I've got a job. I've worked in the industry whilst I'm doing this. Like, do you get it? And like, I've seen that. Do you know what? Like, everyone can do it. Like, if you've worked in your job, yeah, and you know you've added value to your company, that's part of your stuff. Like, as in, I've sat and I looked at the data,
Yeah.
I added about $20 million in annual recurring revenue from my recent employers.
Wow.
I looked at it and I was like, bro, I'm adding 20 mil to your bottom line.
Wow.
Like, and I'm not even getting 2 million a year for that.
No percentage.
Do you understand? It's not like they're saying, oh, do you know what? Even 10% is a bump. Because you're getting day and night, you're getting 10. But 2 million, you won't even cry.
Yeah, you won't even cry. Yeah.
Like 200 grand, which is less than 10, what, 1%?
1%.
They still won't even give you that either.
They'll just give you the salary and the bonus.
And then your bonus doesn't even cover. Do you get it? So by the time they finish paying you from that value that you've added, you're probably on like 0.5%.
Yeah.
0.5%. Whereas you could easily take that and say, so that's essentially what I did. Because what I was doing for them was booking appointments, qualified appointments with prospects that fit their ideal client profile. So I would literally every day I go in, cold calls, cold email, cold messaging on LinkedIn, pitching the product and service and saying why we should have a call to discuss further and do demos. I bought the likes of Tesla, American Airlines, PayPal, Visa, IKEA, Airbus, EDF, even governments. As in, imagine, like, you all you've done is just picked up the phone and called a stranger that doesn't know you from anywhere.
Yeah.
And he's giving you time of day, and you've convinced him enough to spend more time to come and actually see your product.
Yeah.
Like, he's already got a plan. He's not expected to talk to you,
Yeah.
That's what I was doing for them. And then it was converting. They were closing. And they're charging these people 100, 200, 300, 400, 500K per year for the software.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, like, what? I'm getting a measly commission for this, like.
Yeah, no.
And I was like, do you know what? You can't be an employee forever, like. You just can't.
Yeah.
Like, you've got to accept that if you want the life that you want, you're gonna have to take it to your own hands.
Yeah, and I think some of the benefits, I would say, I think it's more, I wouldn't say sane, like a sane mind, but it's more like you get to live life in your terms.
Exactly.
There is positives and negatives. So the positives is, work whenever you want. Some may have location freedom, time freedom, and financial freedom as you're getting most of the money. But then the negatives is, making that switch. It's like, cool, now you have to be disciplined to wake up on time and get started work. If you don't work, you don't get paid. If business is dry, you have to switch up and, go through certain situations. So again, how I say to everybody is, if you work 8 hours for somebody else, how can you not put in at least 8 hours for yourself? Like, come on, like, you do that for somebody else, but how dare you not do that for yourself? Like, do you not like yourself? So again, I feel like when you understand that, making a switch will be simple. Like,
yeah, and like, it's not about ditching your job. Keep it. Do your best there so that they don't. You don't lose the secure money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, build so that if one day you decide that you want to replace that, you can, and you're free to.
100%.
And like, even when you say that, I think the problem is that people don't want to do what they have to do, and the emphasis is on the they. What do I mean by that? Like, for me, I'm someone that can assimilate things very quickly. So when I was in school, I would go out, like, party all the time.
Yeah.
But when I'm at home, I've done my revision. But you don't know that.
Yeah.
Because I'm chilling with you whilst you haven't done your revision.
Hey.
Then I'm someone that, do you know what I mean? I might just need to revise for an hour, 2 hours. We get to exam time. I'm getting A's, you're getting D's. And you're thinking, but I've been chilling with him. Like, how is he doing this when I've been chilling with him?
Yeah.
But what you don't realize is that we don't live in the same house. You've been spending all the time outside with me. You haven't, you haven't seen what I've been doing behind closed doors.
100%.
And a lot of people, where they go wrong is that they see how a particular individual gets something, and then they feel like it should be like that. For example, this person only has to revise for 2 hours, and he gets A's. Why can't I just revise for 2 hours? No, you have to, first of all, be humble enough to learn about yourself and realize, do you know what, for me, to get an A, I need to do 10 hours. Am I willing to do it? Because you can both get the A, but the requirements, the work needed to be put in might be different. And that's what I mean by people aren't willing to do what they need to do.
Yeah.
Like what you said, for someone, they need to be able to go to work from 9 to 5 and then from 6 to 9 work on their side hustle. In order to break free.
To break out.
But it's like, why should I be the one that has to work for 12 hours? Meanwhile, there's another guy that he doesn't have to do all that. He just has to work for 4 hours and he's calm.
He's calm, yeah.
Like, so now you're upset. It's like, nah, I must do it in the way that he does it for the 4 hours. And it's like, no, for you, the sacrifice that you need to make is not live in London.
Yeah.
The sacrifice that you need to make is work 2 and 3 jobs. Because I've done it before. I've done it like working 3 jobs, as in 9 to 5, and then 5 to 11
Straight.
Wow. Like literally, when I was getting married, like to build up to my work, that's what I was doing.
You had to.
Yeah, like
Marriage ain't cheap. It's not cheap.
just that's not free. Like I can sit there and sulk and be like, oh nah, I'm not like I'm not gonna do. Or I can be like, no, what I want is what I want. So therefore, I'm gonna do what I have to do to get what I want. And there's 2 types of people. There's the people that know that this is what I want, this is where I am, and I'm willing to do what needs to be done and make the sacrifice to achieve it. And there's the people that would rather go without than ever attain. So it's like, this is what I want, this is where I am, but nah, I can't bother to suffer to get that. So I'd rather cut back from what I even have.
Yeah, your dreams die.
Yeah, like let my dreams die, because it's long to work to get it. So I'd rather suffer, but know that I'm not putting in extra work. Does that make sense?
That's
2,000 people. It's like, you can tell them, oh, you know, if you want to get what you want, you just need a second job, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Is it gonna be hard? Yeah. No, then I'm never gonna get what I want. I'm not gonna me work extra. Why should I work extra? And then you see, and that's fine. But the problem that I have is when they complain. You've made your choice. You said you don't want it anymore. Live with it. Like, why are you crying about it? You had the choice. You had the chance to make an impact to change it. You didn't want to change the story, and then you sit at home and you cry about it every day.
Impossible.
And then you say for someone else to do it, and like, oh, it's not fair. Why is this like this? And then you want people to change laws and rules and principles. They're not going to change. This is what's required for you to have what you want. It's either that you're willing to. It's either it's worth the sacrifice, or it's not worth the sacrifice in your eyes.
Yeah.
So whatever decision you make, live with it and don't cry about it.
Yeah, one thing I just want to say, on the other side of fear is where the money is. So that's where the money resides. So again, those that do things that aren't common, they tend to, you know, get the most rewards. So if that is, you know, putting in work to become a footballer, or start, you know, being brave enough to invest money into a business, or learning a skill that isn't widely known, where you are scared, if you can overcome that, that's where the money resides. Because if it was simple, everybody have money. If it was easy, everybody have money. But no, you have to take risks. You got to go out your way to do things. So definitely, for anyone watching, yeah, please, you know, take the risk. I beg. I promise you,
take the risk, bro.
You won't regret it. You know, as long as you do it, you know, correctly. Well, there's no correct way, but as long as you go through it and be persistent, eventually you'll crack. And remember, one thing I want to say is, you only need one business to blow, you know.
Just one. Like, you can fail. You know, there's a quote. Well, not a quote. There's a fact. Well, not a fact. There's a statistic. 9 out of 10 businesses fail. Cool. Start 10. One more bust. Luckily for me, and maybe for you as well, I only had to start, you know, 2 or 3, and then I got my big break. But again, you only need one business to blow. Once you blow, and then you can manage and go again. You learn lessons from your previous businesses that have failed, and you can go again now. You start one business, you learn how to make a website. That business fails, but at least now when you start your second business, you already know how to make a website. It's quick. Every time you're starting with more XP. It's like a game. You're leveling up. So yeah, I can imagine. It's like you're respawning from your last death. But think about it, all the progress you've made. The next time you respawn, you're not respawning from the beginning. You're respawning from level 3. Yeah. Checkpoint. Yeah, literally a milestone. So that's the best way to put it, for sure, man. Definitely. Yeah. And what I want to ask you is social media affecting people's life decisions in the worst possible way? Because I feel like most people either they rush things because of social media, because you're trying to catch someone that's already there. Yeah. You don't do things because you feel like you're so far from people that are already, like, it's making too much of an impact in people's decision. Yeah, I call it catching up with the TL, keeping up with the TL, literally. So, you know, people, Twitter, Instagram, these things aren't real. A lot of things can be fabricated to make to look like, oh yeah, I have this. Like, there's been plenty of times where I've seen people, like, you know, wear somebody's watch, take a snap, and then give it back like immediately after. So again, it's a shame, but you know, there's pros and cons to it. So like, it helped me when I was younger, because I was able to see, you know, growing up in certain places, you're not exposed to, you know, certain things. Like, they say that we weren't supposed to see this many people in our lifetimes, but the fact that we have access to billions of people with a device, it's like corrupted our brains. Now, being able to see people drive Lamborghinis,
doing big things in America, London and whatnot, it opens your eyes way earlier. Whereas I can imagine in the 1960s, if you had no connections via family,
you never know that type of person.
You'll never know, or you never see such wealth unless you're traveling to Mayfair, but at a young age, or what business do you have in Mayfair? Like, whereas, so there's pros and cons, but the cons, I feel like the pros, only a small selection of people have used that and turned into fuel to drive and achieve that as well. But the cons have affected the majority of the UK.
Right.
And that's where, people have got all confused, and, you're trying to live up and act up for certain people that don't even care, so.
Yeah, like, I mean, one thing that I always say to my friends and stuff is like, why aspire to look rich when you can just be? It can be real because I feel like a lot of people spend more time trying to look wealthy versus actually being wealthy.
100%.
So it's like, the effort that you make in the fact, like, to fabricate an image, to create an image that will make people think you are. If you actually spent that effort in actually doing the things that actually accumulate wealth, you'll just be wealthy.
You will eventually, and again, you learn from your lessons. I feel like a lot of people want to spend $1 million, not earn $1 million. Do you get what I mean? So when you understand that, it's like they just want to look it. They want to just, like, it makes you think, like, what's their mind management like? So again, with that, it's about getting to the next level. You don't get there by spending and splurging. You gotta. It's like, I like to relate it to gym. So like, someone that wants to be a bodybuilder or look in a good shape, it's not when you get to a good shape you can now start eating cakes. You gotta maintain it. It's the same with money. When you get to 100k, whenever you get to whatever your figure is in your head, you feel like you're gonna start splashing. I promise you, if you've made it the legit way, you will not. And if you do, once you've gone through the pain to make it, you wouldn't be splashing like that. You wouldn't be. So yeah, definitely.